Well, welcome back to another episode of In Good Company, where we believe the best parts in business happen in good company. And I got something a little bit sneaky that we're doing today. A competitor, someone who we're both going after similar clients. She's in the seat today. But here's the deal. We respect the heck out of what each other does. We first met, I think it was like 2-3 weeks ago, but I've been creeping on you for a long time. And just so excited to welcome Lindsay Connelly to the podcast. How are you?
I'm so good. Thanks for having me, Mike. And it was so funny when we met because I was just like, I just respect you so much. I was like, dude, I've been seeing you around. Can we hug it out? And I'm just really excited for our second conversation ever to be,
Second recorded. Conversation ever happening live on the pod today. And just for those that don't know your story, give a little bit of a background of where did you grow up? What do you do? Like, what's the vibe?
Yeah, for sure. So I just was on Pauly Guglielmo's podcast. Love him. I spent like 45 minutes talking about childhood and like college. So I promised myself I would actually talk about business today.
I love it.
Yeah, but
so tune into that. We'll link it below.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I grew up in Connecticut, spent a lot of time outdoors growing up, and then moved to Rochester because I got into RIT for film and animation and loved that. Ended up changing from film and animation to finance, and then found marketing. Did a lot of rock climbing in college, did a lot of entrepreneurship stuff. I guess everything leading up to founding Linden kind of prepared me for that, of just having people ask me what my major is. I'm kind of like, I guess I graduated with a marketing degree, but I did all of this other stuff in between that, got me to where I am.
It's amazing. So Connecticut to Rochester, what was that transition like? Obviously, this is home now. Yes. Did you ever think you would be in the beauty of Rochester, New York?
So I love Rochester. Whenever anyone snarks on Rochester, I get so frustrated. So I'm just like, where else do you want to live? You want to be, I don't know, somewhere where the traffic is insane and I love the community here. Everyone's got, every place is wonderful. I've traveled a lot. I really love it here. I love living here. I've got really great friends here. But dude, I'm a question asker.
Come on.
Yeah. Where are you from, Rochester?
So I was born in Albany.
You were born in Albany. Okay.
Grew up in Fairport until first grade.
Okay.
And then I moved to Northern Virginia from first grade until graduation.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So then my parents always had a cottage in Honeoye, one of the Finger Lakes here.
Yep.
And then we would come back in the summers. I'm a huge Buffalo Bills fan, as you know, because I canceled our first podcast to go to Houston and watch the Bills lose.
Which I respected.
You did.
Yeah, I felt so bad for you that day, too. I was like, oh, dude, that was a rough game.
I had an Uber at 3:15 the next morning, and it hurt so bad after a loss. It was like, if we won, it would have been like, no worries, this is cool. It was brutal. And then my wife's like, sucks to suck, bro. I don't know why you did that. So anyway, I grew up in Virginia, but same vibes though. For me, I think what's beautiful about Rochester, and we'll get into the entrepreneurship journey of this, is the family dynamic and the support system. There's people that have left, but when it's time for them to start a family, when it's time for them to just be around those that they know are going to support them, they're not going to just be impressed with what they do or what they have, but they're actually going to want to spend time with them and build that solid foundation. There's no better place than Rochester.
Yeah,
and I think that goes perfectly into the story of entrepreneurship, because you took a leap, you took a jump, and to do that out of a place of foundation and support, it's the perfect trampoline to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about, how did Linden come about? What made you say, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing. Here we go.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I don't even know if it was that crazy. It developed so organically. So it went from when I was getting my MBA at RIT. Also, talking about family and support system, my family's mostly in Connecticut. My husband's is in Syracuse. I was with him at the time, so that's a huge support system, but I can't even... I love RIT so much. They were such a huge part of starting Linden and supporting me. So that, I get such a strong community from my alumni base, my professors and things like that. So shout out RIT. But
go Tigers.
Go Tigers. I was getting my MBA and I was actually working at another startup part-time and consulting full-time. So I had worked after graduating at 2 different agencies in town, and then a startup from California picked me up and said, hey, like this guy, Dwight, he'd sold his agency and said, I'm going to start a company called Greatest Hotels. I want someone to manage it. I'm like 25 years old. RIT was like, this woman is, really talented.
Legit.
Yeah, basically. And he said, sure, I'm going to hire her. Worked for him for 2 years. I didn't feel like the startup was going anywhere, but during that time, I picked up some clients, was doing digital marketing, consulting. So I was making more money than I had was ever going to make working for someone else in agencies, and was just like, this is great. I'll do this forever. And then when I was getting my MBA, I met this woman who was starting a shampoo company called Awa Hair Care. So I'm doing these two things. I help her, raise $250,000 through the RT Venture Fund. But then you have to make a choice, right? Are you going to do this consulting and take that off, or are you going to go down this path? And that was a really hard decision. So that was, at that point, write out the 10-year plan, knew that doing my own thing would end up being more fulfilling. And I have a pretty high appetite for risk, but I also am really independent and just wanted to bet on myself. So chose that path, and a month later hired my first co-op. Thought I would just do that for a while, where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just have a co-op, help me with my clients, stay a pretty boutique. And then she said she wanted a career path and wanted to work with me when she was graduating 2 years later. So then that was the moment where I'm like, I want to work with you too. I was pregnant, so I knew I needed to delegate, and just, just started hiring more people. And at the 4 years ago, we hired Elise, was my roommate from RIT. And she's really what, helped us catapult the company.
Amazing.
So that was great. And now we're at 20 people. And 4 years later.
So let's talk about, for those listening that maybe are in that solopreneur type of season of their business, or maybe they've got this Shark Tank type idea and they're just getting started with an Etsy shop or, something like that. What was that moment like when you went from kind of solopreneur, kind of thinking through, oh yeah, this is a cool idea, I'm doing some consulting on the side. What was that moment, that faith jump when you said, all right, I'm diving off the diving board? For someone listening that's in that similar season where they're feeling like they need to, but they're a little bit nervous, they're not quite sure what steps to take, what advice might you have for someone like that?
Just do it. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen, right? There's also, I just to make sure it's a calculated risk, write everything down. I listen to my gut a bit, but not like some entrepreneurs. I think I'm very much, let me consult with my circle, my employees. Yeah. So just ask everyone around you, is this crazy? Get a lot of feedback, make a good educated decision. But it was the best thing I ever did. And you get that feeling in your stomach where, you're nervous, excited, or nervous, oh God, I don't think I should do this. And giving Michelle her first full-time offer, oh God, I'm responsible now. This is a real salary. I'm going to be responsible for your life to an extent of being able to sell, and you're taking this huge risk by not going big corporate. You just want to take care of people. But it's the day after you do it, I had this nervous, excited, okay, we're going to do this, and just hustle. Yeah.
And how do you, in your business and our business, instead of just working on the one, the great hotels or the shampoo product, you have many businesses, many brands that you are now overseeing. How does that compute in your brain to go from, someone, and there's no right or wrong with this, but someone that's just working in one specific business, and now you are working on all of these businesses. What has that been like to try to manage all the different nuances of this person communicates in this style, this person likes this thing? How do you balance all of that?
Yeah, I don't know. So I feel like you probably do this well too. I think I try to match energies with people. So I want to make sure my clients, if they're more type B personality, I'll take it down a notch. If they're more type A, bring it up a notch, and just try to make them feel comfortable, customer service wise. Yeah. But for me, I've been on both sides of the aisle where I'm working on one single product versus working on a lot of different things. And I don't know about you, but I love jumping in and understanding all of these different industries. And while I couldn't, run their businesses for them, right? We've got some aerospace engineering companies. I can't build an airplane,
Yeah.
but I can do the marketing for
Yeah.
it. And being specifically good at marketing, it's nice as an agency to be able to see what's working. And we've got, 80 different clients.
Right.
So we can pull strategies that work from one for another and come up with ideas that we might not have even thought of if we were just working on the one product. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So curious, one of my most fun ones was Jewish Home as a client, and we have a lot of, RIT as a client, and we've got other educational clients where TikTok is huge for advertising. Senior living, company might not think to use TikTok, but because they needed nurses for a employment recruiting campaign, and we had all this experience with TikTok, we're like, the nurses talk is a whole thing. We're not getting what we need off of Indeed. Let's use TikTok to recruit and create a campaign for that. They pulled together a TikTok. We posted that. It was like the best campaign that we've run for them for employment. Wouldn't have thought of that if we didn't have that experience across industries. But do you find that too?
Oh my gosh, of course. Yeah. And I think it's really a posture thing, like you're saying. It's a posture of always be learning. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way to our clients, but we are learning with their marketing dollars. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean we don't know what we're doing. It just means we are taking that posture of learning and absorbing, and then being able to, on a dime, say that would work perfect for this client or for that client. Mm-hmm. I think it's massive. Yeah. I think also for you to entrust with 80 clients to your employees instead of micromanaging, but actually trust that your team is the right people for the job. Mm-hmm. TikTok's a perfect example where I'm 36 years old, man. Like, I'll consume TikTok, but I don't know. I don't know how to post stuff on there. Like, I don't know what's going on. How have you been able to delegate without that micromanaging kind of over the top, like in every detail every day?
It took forever. So it's so funny. Michelle will always roll her eyes when people are like, Lindsay, can you micromanage me a little bit more? And she's like, you don't want that. Like, you do not want that. Back in the day, I'd be like over her shoulder, do this, that, and the other. But I've got a really strong management team that's trained really well, and they bring so much to the table. And it's been funny just watching, the stuff that I used to produce on my own, because I used to be, the manager, the content producer, the website developer. I would do everything. And I look back at some of the stuff that I did, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this compared to Danielle, or I'm so bad at this compared to, Amanda or Grace or whoever. So for me, as we just have hired people, and I don't have time, especially in having kids. I know you've got 2 kids, right?
We do.
You have to delegate with kids. That was sort of like maybe having kids was the thing that really was like, I just can't. I really cannot be working past 6:30, and I trust that you guys took care of this during the day.
Yeah, and it's cool to have that grind in the beginning. Like, that startup energy is awesome. And like, if you're listening and you're in that startup world, it is hard. Yeah. It is the 7 to 7 or you're grinding late at night with your coffee and whatever. But like, don't rush past that season, or like try to hope that, if I just get through this. Like, I think there is a grind, but when you invite other people that are better at the task than you, it's a win for you, it's a win for them, it's a win for the client. The way that I've said this is, I truly feel like, and I'm sure you feel similar, that I am a waiter. I go to the client, I go to the table, and I say, what can I get you? Here's our menu. They tell me all the things that they need, and I go back to the kitchen. I need a drone video for this. I need social media for this. I need whatever. Okay, great. I put it on the plate. I walk back and I say, here you go. Yeah. Not one time do they say, well, who made this and who cooked the burger and whatever. It's like, listen, my job is to say, if it's not on the menu, then it's not on the menu. But if it is, we got you. Yeah. And I think it's such an honor to give other people, young people, an opportunity to be a part of an ecosystem like this. Mm-hmm. Here's a unique pivot, though, that we're in ever since COVID. You've been a fully remote agency. Yeah. So we have a whole new pocket of talent that's coming into the working world that is like, I want to work hybrid. Ain't nobody got time to go to an office. Like, there is no water cooler talk. Like, we don't live in this world anymore. How have you been able to grow and scale with being a fully remote agency? How have you been able to do that?
I think because of AIM and AOL and millennial. You're
Let's
36.
go.
I'm 36.
Let's go.
Right? I don't know. I think millennial culture, we were so used to that, and we grew up in offices. So
Wow.
maybe just the fact that we had this digital ecosystem in MySpace and came up like truly, I see how I feel bad for folks who are trying to catch up with even just like how fast that, all of us can type sometimes because we're just native.
Oh, there's
grew
no
up with
question.
it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
I mean, that was what a time. Wow.
Yeah, because generation is there's the meme going around that we're the only generation who's teaching both our parents and our children how to use a printer.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, we're awesome. There's no question.
Millennials are great. Everyone hates on us.
Yeah.
We're great.
No, we got it.
Yeah.
I think AOL was wild. I just remember like my dad was a candy salesman for M&M Mars, like had this really dope job. I got all sorts of free candy. It was life.
Yeah.
And he would always be on work calls, and I was just trying to like do the little ding, connecting to the internet so that I could get on chat with my girlfriend. It was very important to me.
Oh,
at
yeah.
the time.
For me,
And
it was
then-
like when you're on LimeWire or Kazaa or something, and I'm like, I need this Backstreet Boys song, and I will do anything in my power for the next 4 hours to find the best version of
And
it
like
that
the
won't
little-
infect my computer.
The little the little ad that would pop up like mid song, like it was kind of like DJ Khaled, like we the best. Like it would just there'd be these little wow, burning CDs, unreal.
Yeah,
What
I
a
just
time.
found those last night. I was cleaning out my attic and found a bunch of burnt CDs of like my friends giving me mixtapes and stuff like that or whatever. But anyways,
Sorry about that.
Sorry guys, millennials are great. Having stuff like tools like Slack and some of the tools we have
For
now,
sure.
like this is incredible. And the reason we just bought the building because we're going to go hybrid now was because there is a certain point where you get to a size where it's just not feasible to meet impromptu anymore, right? Like 20 people last minute. I don't want to have to call up whatever hotel and get a conference room and not know the AV setup or whatever, where we just felt like we were just bopping around, didn't have a home base.
Yep.
So that was one reason. I also bought it for my employee Gabrielle because she was like, I'm going crazy at home. I really need to be in office.
Ooh.
And she's a cusper, so like 28-ish, I think. Gabrielle, sorry if I got that wrong. But yeah, so I told her, like, why would I want that overhead? We're doing great. This is fine. And then I started getting all these other little signals, like how people are like, I am going crazy too. My pets are driving me crazy. I'm like, well, just have less pets. Like, I don't know. Like, why
Get rid of your pets.
buy-
I'm not paying for a place. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had co-ops that were coming in from RIT. We have a strong co-op program, and some of them were like, I want to work at a place with an office. I will not even apply.
Here's a list of coffee shops. Go. Yeah. I know.
So that's how it kind of started. And then I'm really big on keeping my promises. And
Great.
sometimes I promise them like pretty unhinged things. So Gabrielle one day was going to move to Texas because she had a boyfriend and he was moving there, and she's like, I can still work remote. I'm like, I will buy you a building if you stay in Rochester.
Whoa! Write it down.
Right? And then they freaking break up, and she stays in Rochester, and she tells me on a Zoom call, and I'm like, this is about to be a very expensive promise.
Oh no. Shout out, dude in Texas. Hope you're doing well.
I know. I love you, man. Thank you. She stayed here.
Thank you so much.
Really like the building. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And that honestly has changed so much, because I feel like when COVID hit, it was like, yes, I get to work from home. Like everybody was like, myself included, like fired up to do that, right?
Yeah.
Having kids, I will shut my door at my home office, and my son is just banging on the door because he thinks I'm just like playing in there.
Right.
I'm like on a very important Zoom call, like closing some huge deal or something. And he's like, I got my Hulk Halloween costume on, and it's the middle of February. And he's like, check it out. And you're like, I need a place.
Yeah. I just need to get out of here. Yeah, they come in, they've got like my little like trinkets, like my awards and stuff that are shiny. They'll just take those and leave.
Of course.
I'm like, I don't know where they end up.
Probably
It's
in
fine.
the dishwasher or
Probably.
laundry.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think is so fascinating is, despite all of this, like the hybrid, the whatever, I think we are so attached to these things, and using things like Slack, using some of these other tools where even clients have this almost on-demand access to you, having a laundry list of 80 clients, how do you actually set boundaries, not just with clients, but to protect your staff? Where if somebody does hit you with like a red alert thing, how, being in this remote world, I know plenty of people that are replying at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., like just trying to make the clients happy, make sure things are moving in a good way. I was guilty of that early on, where I just wanted to always be on for them, always be available. How do you set those appropriate boundaries that both serve your client, but also protect your employees?
Yeah, our clients are great, honestly. We've had some where it's been demanding like that, and I just have to evaluate. I'm curious to see what you do too, but you evaluate the work. If a client feels like they're not getting what they want, or there's always a fire drill, and you look at what your employee or what I'm producing, I'm like, this is just as good, if not better, than any of the other clients for the same package level. If you're not happy with it, maybe we're not the right fit. So more of like saying no has been huge. And if there's not a good, we're so big on culture at Linden. And that extends to our clients, like, we hustle, we will go above and beyond, we will stay on to a certain point if it's a true emergency. But if it's, I need this report for Tuesday and it's the previous Wednesday and I need it right now in an hour, I'm like, it's not even gonna be good if I get it to you in an hour. But just level setting and just,
I would say, and I'm curious how you'd answer this, like, what would you say is a common misconception about what a marketing agency can provide people? Because, and I'll give you a chance to think about it, because I do think that there are some clients that I've worked with in the past where they send a text and say, hey, we have this big sales pitch coming up. Like, we have these 2 slides that just need to be like quickly edited. Can you put this color with this thing and whatever? And it's almost like their personal little marketer in their pocket that they can just call anytime and they can make the adjustments. That's not us. Like, that's not what we do. I think you can go to Fiverr, you can have like you can hire internal, like whatever you got to do. But what do you think is like a few or a common misconception that people think, not just for you guys, but when they're partnering with kind of an outsourced digital agency? What do you think is kind of one of those? Yeah,
I've had some people have said things way more profound than I could come up with. My buddy Sam, who you should meet, he owns and founded Socium.
Oh, yeah.
Agency in downstate New York. Shout out, Sam. I love you. He one time told me there are 4 P's in marketing, right? And I will probably screw them up, but price, promotion, placement, last one, product, maybe, people.
I believe you. Those are all P's.
I went to school for this, right? I have a degree in marketing, and I can't, that's the, whatever. He's like, the only one we have any influence over is promotion. So it's just paring down. So if a client comes to you and is like, why isn't this selling? Because we've definitely had that before. I'm like,
of course.
I can do some research for you and show you that your price is up here and your competitors are down here for something very similar. Maybe you should work on that. But then as an agency, I don't know what you guys do, but sometimes I'll say maybe you shouldn't hire us right now and you should take all of those funds and put them into R&D or ops, or we focus on something else. If you've got a Halo product over here that is selling really well, let's focus on that.
Just focus on that.
So we can give you information. And I can tell you, like, before we take on any client, I run a media calculator to say, like, this is the results that we should get for these dollars if all of these other things hold true. And if one of them breaks along the way, then it's like, this was like, if your conversion rates are bad, then it's like, okay, so there's something up with the price or the product or something when someone reaches your site.
Oh, yeah.
If you're getting strong results from the ads.
Yeah. Did you follow up with the leads?
Oh my gosh.
Like, holy cow.
All the time. Some of our clients, I'm just like, there was a lot of leads. It's like, I was too busy to get to them. I'm like, should you hire someone to get back to them? Because I used to call leads for clients when I started out.
Woof.
It was crazy. Or like be the chat person. Cause
I'm with you. Same.
Right?
No, same. Yeah.
Like I will do, like, because when you were talking about what are you responsible for? I'm like, I was responsible for everything when it was just me. I'm like, I'll do it. I can do that. But now that we're bigger, like, we need to stay in our
But
lane.
Also, it's not best that a marketing partner does that.
No.
Because you don't know the product or the service that you're pitching. You don't, like, that's not your role. And I think that a marketer performs best when we, exactly what you said, stay in your lane. And then we can give you suggestions about, back to what you said earlier about, we have a few other clients that went through a similar issue with this. They improved their ops, they improved this. And you can bring some consulting type solutions, but we're not going to actually build that ecosystem for them.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. Shout out Sam. Was that his name? Sam?
Yeah.
Nice job.
I know.
That's
That
great.
was a good one, right?
One of our favorite things that we do during our show is we do the fails of the week. I think it's very easy for people to see like the beautiful Linden brand and like you're at your shows at RIT and you're growing your beautiful business. You got a new office. But what about those fails? Doesn't have to be from this week, but what are some fails over the years that you just think they weren't super funny at the time, but it's like just a great story to just show people that you're human. You don't have the whole thing figured out. Yeah.
The most heart, like, do you do any media buying?
Yes. Oh,
Lots of media buying?
well, some
Media buying?
it's a joy.
Okay. My favorite is we do a ton of media buying.
Yeah.
I and one of my employees recently, but I did this historically, accidentally set a lifetime budget to a daily budget.
Oh,
and
no.
for the folks listening that don't know what that means, it's like, let's say you've got $20,000 to spend over 6 months. You can also say on LinkedIn or wherever, I want to spend $20,000 over 6 months, but you can switch very quickly from a lifetime budget to a daily budget where all of a sudden you're spending $20,000 a day. And then 3 days later, you're like, what did I just do? So I've gone and I think everyone has done this. I've gone over budget by, $25,000 for a campaign. And thank God the client at the time, it was a big enough budget where they could move things around and it was fine. But Lord,
How were the results from the day? I mean, that sounds incredible.
yeah, they were great.
They're like, oh my God, if you guys can do this for the next 6 months.
Yeah, it was really great. Now we have insurance for that, though. Things like when you're an individual consultant, where you're like, I don't have $20,000. Now I could be like, this is going to suck to eat this, but yeah.
Whoa.
I think that's something too, entrepreneurs, like the nitty gritty stuff that you don't learn in school and you don't learn until you get into it. Like the boring crap, like, oh my God, I need cybersecurity insurance and all of this other stuff that when I was working at companies, they just took care of it.
Yep.
And now you're like, oh, I have to do that, or healthcare, or finding a good payroll company, things like that. All of that little like minutia that not little minutia, it's huge, and you just don't.
It's massive, yeah. And I think we call this in good company. It's like finding people that you trust that have maybe gone ahead of you. Maybe they're a decade or two ahead of you, and you can truly trust them, and they don't need anything from you.
Yeah.
They just want to help you. And then for us to return that favor, but ultimately to find those people that you trust, I think that is the best part of business. That is the way that we can improve and get better. And one of the things that's always been cool, obviously we haven't known each other super long, but
this is our second conversation.
It's our second
We've known each
combo.
other for 45 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like it's
34
minutes. Okay.
Yeah. But again, one of the things that I think has drawn me to you guys as a business is it feels like the rising tide lifts all ships. And I think that, one of the things for someone listening, that if you have a dream, if something's inside of you that you feel like God has put you on this planet to do, don't look at the other voices in the imposter syndrome and say, well, I don't have to do this because so-and-so is already doing it.
Yeah.
And I think when we started, we could have looked at the bigger marketing agencies out there and said, you know what? It's not worth me doing because these other places already exist.
Yeah.
How did you get over that imposter syndrome of feeling like, you know what? Lindsay has a part to play in elevating this tide here in this city. How did you get over that? Yeah,
it took a while, but it's just keeping at it and evaluating my work sort of in a, vacuum, right? Where I'm like, I don't know if that's the right word, but looking at what I was producing compared to some of my peers and saying, no, I'm really good at this. Or I'd inherit clients that would show me reports from their previous agencies and I'd say, I know for a fact that I will produce something better than this. This is an example of my work. And they're like, this is exactly what we need. So just getting those small hits initially where, when I started out, I had a shitty LinkedIn, no website, and was just word of mouth advertising, was busier than I knew what to do with because people were like, this woman knows what she's doing. So you get those signals. Yeah. And then you get people that want to work with you. I'm like, you want to work for me? That's crazy. And then more people are like, no, this culture's great. I love it here. You're really smart. And getting people surrounding you that are like, I think you're way smarter than me. Thank you for hanging out.
Yeah.
Then we start winning these awards and things like that. So it just was like a slow build over time. And having mentors come in and say, you've got all these people that sometimes will try to put you down and say you're not working hard enough, you're not doing this well enough, and maybe they're just trying to exploit you. So it was really helpful having mentors come in that have done it, saying you're doing a really great job and I trust you and your work is good. Like Amanda DeVito from CMO over at Butler Till has been absolutely amazing in being a mentor. Scott Enzing over there. It's just like when people like that at the largest agency in Rochester are saying like you're doing a good job, that's been huge.
Love it.
I don't know. Who are your mentors?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I think just before I answer that, I just think words matter. Mm-hmm. It's not just the words that come from other people, but the words that you say to yourself and the belief that you have in yourself. And I think some of that comes with maturity. Like as we get older, it's like, I don't really care about people's opinions anymore. Like I am who I am and like love me or hate me, like this is what I'm doing. But I do think if you have an encouraging word to give to somebody, give it to them. Mm-hmm. If you wish that you would have said something when you were having coffee with someone and you didn't, text it to them or pick up the phone and call them. Yeah. Because words matter so much. And I think that's part of our roles is like helping businesses put words to their dreams, to the things that they've been building. From a mentor level, like this agency would not exist if I didn't have strong people in my corner from day one. Mm-hmm. I've always had a business coach consultant. His name's Jason Pearl, based in Buffalo. The thing that I always say to young people at Fisher that I will say about my mentors, I refuse to follow shallow mentors where I'm only just impressed with the business that they've built. I want to follow people whose whole life I can get behind.
That's cool.
So part of Jason Pearl's story is his daughter had a brain tumor.
Ooh.
And she was healed, and he was putting his prayers up and worship songs and all these things of getting through it. He wasn't shielding his business life from his personal life. And here's what happened. She got healed. She's in college now. She's had this beautiful story, but his business has skyrocketed because his whole life is included in the way in which he serves his clients. And I just think that that's part of what we're building here is we believe that brands are dead, and we help grow your business with content that's as human as you are, because I think people trust human beings, they trust human stories, and if we can continue to give life to that, I think you're doing a great job of that. I think that's part of what we've been able to do. But bringing in mentors is massive. And there was another guy up in Toronto who, before we started this content house, he has this company called Neighborhood Creative. They're a huge marketing agency in Toronto, and he opened up Grid Studios. He's got 2 or 3 podcast studios, and I was like, dude, hop in the car, we're going up.
Cool.
We took a team up, and he was blown away that we would drive from Rochester, and I'm like, dude, you got a 6 space, of course we're going to be here. But it's back to what I said before about you have a posture of learning, and people could look at you and say, you've made it. What's the point of continuing to improve or continuing to grow? And I think whether we agree with it or not, I do think there are some people that kind of get in a settling place where they feel like they've either reached it or they feel like they're too tired. They've grinded for so long that now I can get on my yacht and sip my cocktail and just live, right? How have you kind of kept that feeling out? How have you continued to keep that posture of learning? I'm
so energized every day by my team, and it's so funny that you bring up a yacht, because for me, the hustle and wanting to keep growing is really for them, right? So that I can make sure that they have career paths that they're happy and fulfilled. I have everything I've ever wanted. I have an amazing husband, great kids, love my neighborhood, my home, everything. So now the hustle is for fun. That's been what's freeing, is let's do it together and help our clients. And like you said, tell good stories. And in marketing, it's so energizing. You always have to be learning because it's so competitive now. Things are happening so quickly. We're how do we innovate and how do we be fun and goofy? But one of my employees, she unfortunately got cancer in January. And after we got over, the initial shock, there's tears and everyone was a mess. And as soon as we found out she was going to be okay, I was like, oh, thank God. As soon as you're done with chemotherapy, which it was wild watching that. Like I've been blessed. I don't have a lot of people in my life that have had cancer, but watching her go through that, it was so rough. And I'm like, we are going to have a yacht party as soon as you're done with chemo, like an end of chemo yacht party. There are no yachts in Rochester. If anyone has a yacht, I was searching. I had people scouring the internet for a freaking yacht.
Back to what you said about making promises. I mean, this is another promise.
So I don't have to buy a freaking yacht. I didn't. We went to Marge's, which was just as good.
Yes, Marge's. That works.
Marge's is amazing. But
it's like, guys, we're on a boat. Do you feel this?
Yeah. So anyways, the grind is I want a yacht for Linden, and then I want a Keuka compound. I want to have a lot of little A-frames on Keuka Lake. We can hang out. And, I don't know. Just like,
is this a promise? Because if this is a promise,
this is a promise.
Let's go.
There's a Keuka.
Let's go. We're sending this to the Linden team after just that little clip. Clip it.
Right. They're like, guys. But yeah, it's like it's those pie in the sky things that are fun. And in marketing, we have a good time, and I just want to do good work for good people.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and just keep growing.
And I think the thing that you catch from your vibe right away is that you're not out to take advantage of someone just to make money and grow your thing. You're truly serving people, and you're serving them well. And I think it speaks in the team that you're building. It speaks in the way in which you serve your clients. We have a segment called Rapid Fire Hot Seat Questions. This is how we conclude every episode. And these are hot questions. So you got
How serious are they?
Not super serious.
Okay.
You got 1 to 2 word responses or sentences depending. But are you ready for this?
Oh my God, I think so.
To start your day, are you like a coffee or an energy drink, matcha? Like what's your deal?
Coffee, like 2 pots of coffee. It's coffee.
2 pots.
I drink a stupid amount of coffee. Wow. I'm drinking coffee until like 2-3 p.m.
Excellent. You crash at all, or you're just riding high?
No.
Great.
I think I'll talk to my doctor about that. Been doing that for a little too long.
Currently crashing. Yeah. What is your favorite marketing channel to work in, or like platform that you feel like you're just all about?
Right now, I really like Reddit.
Yes.
That's been fun. Anything new? I like Roku lately. Anyone who's got a good sales rep who's coming at me, trying to help out.
Love it.
Those 2 are my fun ones right now.
They have to start with an R, Reddit or Roku.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Is there a website or a project or something that you guys have worked on that you are most proud of? You don't need to necessarily say, because we don't want to make clients feel bad, but.
I actually would say our own, because again, we didn't have a website for so long.
Yeah.
And then I challenged our designer. I was like, I need this in like a month for this award that we're coming out with. And she said, you need to hire somebody else because all the client work is going to go to shit. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll hire someone else. You just focus on this. So I would say our own website. I'm really proud of our own website.
Me too. It's cool.
Thank you.
What is your go-to productivity tool?
Asana.
We use Asana as well.
I love Asana, and you click the button and it gets the unicorn, and
it's incredible.
So
it just makes you feel so good.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite thing to do to reset?
Climb at the Red Barn.
Yeah.
Big rock climber. So now Rock Ventures, because my 5-year-old is actually crushing. So
of course
she can climb there. Yeah.
Runs in the fam.
Mm-hmm.
We just went to an event where my son finally climbed. It was like the little you get him at like an inflatable place or something. They just rent him. He finally climbed all the way to the top.
Yes, let's go.
He's just.
Let's take our kids climbing together. That'd be fun.
Listen, he's not going to be good yet, but he did do that. Yeah. I love it. What would be a dream collab for you?
This one. I'm living my dream right now. I was like, Mike Thomas.
Let's go.
I know. I've been creeping on you for a while. So
I knew she was going to say that. That was a soft lob question. Incredible. And then this is the final one. What would one word that your team would use to describe you?
I dropped. So I did see some of these questions ahead of time. I dropped that in Slack. I didn't check before I left here.
Well, okay.
I saw that one of them said there's too many words, but
that works.
Yeah. There's also, all right. So every year we do the Lindies. So, like the Dundies.
Yes.
Last year, my Lindy was the Sasquatch Award. So I would say Sasquatch, because I'm hard to find, rarely seen, and if you do spot me, you need to take advantage of it or something like that, because
That's brilliant.
I might run away.
That is brilliant.
I'm so busy. Yeah.
You heard it here first. I have caught the Sasquatch.
You have caught the Sasquatch.
Wow. How funny. One word to describe, Sasquatch is the answer.
Sasquatch. Yep.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being on here.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Let's do this again.
Absolutely awesome. Yeah. Cool. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of In Good Company, where we really do believe that the best parts in business happen in good company. Take care.
Thanks for listening to In Good Company. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. For more information or to connect with Mike, visit him online at thomasmediagroup.co or on Instagram at Michael L. Thomas. Thanks again for listening, and remember, the best of business happens in good company. We'll see you next time.